Come on.
Cleveland Cavaliers. This is going to be a really fun and exciting game for the Los Angeles Lakers. You got James Harden in town. You got Donovan Mitchell in town. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. This is going to be another good matchup for the Los Angeles Lakers against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Another good test for the Lakers to see where they are at when it comes to them matching up with a playoff team. Lakers got a W last night against the Washington Wizards. Took care of business. That's all you expect when the Lakers take on a team like that, a team that is trying to tank. Take care of business, keep on stacking wins, and try to secure that third seed. There's more news. You got LeBron James news. David McMenamin, Tim Bontemps writing an article in regards to where will LeBron James land after this season. The team morale is at an all-time high. LeBron James is being that third highest usage player. Good things are starting to roll with this Lakers team. So we got a lot of good stuff today on Lakers Talk Daily ahead of tonight's matchup against the Cleveland Cavaliers. But before we do any of that, you guys already know what we have to do. We have to talk about my friends at Pechanga Resort Casino, and you can play a perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino, the official Native American resort and casino of the Los Angeles Lakers. Skip the traffic. Head on over to Pechanga Resort Casino just off I-15 in Temecula. Visit pechanga.com or call 888-PECHANGA for reservations and for more information. By the way, seeing Anthony Davis on that sideline for the Washington Wizards is mind-blowing to me. Mind-blowing still seeing him in a Washington Wizards, not even a uniform, him being on that bench because he has yet to suit up for the Washington Wizards. And then seeing all the stuff we've been seeing as far as the pregame, Anthony Davis being on the sideline for warm-ups, all those different types of things. And you just see him smiling. You just see the energy that he feels being back inside Crypto.com arena, seeing him messing around with Jackson Hayes and all those good things. There is moments where we see, and we do miss Anthony Davis in a Lakers uniform. You can genuinely see the emotion, and you can see him just smiling. There's comments and everything trending through social media that Anthony Davis definitely was not smiling like this when he was in a Dallas Mavericks uniform. Now, that can be a testament as far as the Mavericks were a disaster, and there's a lot of things that were going on with the Dallas Mavericks as far as injuries, as far as roster construction, all those different types of things. But you can see that he's at a fresh start, and he's starting to get back into, hopefully, that Anthony Davis form. And it's honestly a real funny thing when we talk about that because we always forget that, damn, Anthony Davis went from Dallas to the Washington Wizards. And then this one makes it even more funny because knowing that the Washington Wizards have been tanking, they did get Trae Young. He played a couple games for the Wizards, and Anthony Davis has yet, like I mentioned, to suit up for the Washington Wizards. And Rui Hachimura was asked as far as how was it seeing Anthony Davis and, look at the bench when you saw Anthony Davis. And Rui Hachimura, he has some very, very good things, a very, very funny thing to say in regards to that question. I do believe we have that audio for you guys.
Rui, I know trades are part of the business and whatnot, but how nice was it to see AD back here? And has he hit you up for any DC reps yet?
No, I think it was funny that because I was during the time I was looking at the bench and then I saw AD and I was shocked. I was like, wait, I totally forgot about it, So I went to say hi to him, He's like, yeah, he knew. He just got a DC. I was there for DC for 3 years, so I have people and all that. So yeah, of course, I think. For him to, I think he's injured right now, right? He's injured or something? Yeah, or whatever that is. I think it's a good situation for him, I hope the best for him, and I was happy to see him.
So, Rui Hachimura, and we've seen that, and we see him being asked that question. It's that it just goes back to what we were saying, that it is very, very weird seeing Anthony Davis suited up in a Washington Wizards uniform. And like Brian is saying in the YouTube chat already, Brian, you're already off to a good start, man. Damn, Brian, it didn't take that long. Saying Rui better start playing better or he's going to go back to the Wizards. Damn, Brian, already off to a start like that. But to kind of bring everything back as far as Anthony Davis and him being in the Washington Wizards and him making his homecoming back into LA, the Lakers are rolling. And you start to see the momentum with this team. And going ahead into tonight's matchup against the Cleveland Cavaliers, you're seeing all the good things that have been going on with this Lakers team, as far as people buying into the roles, people understanding that, as far as LeBron James being that third usage guy, which we continually always are talking about continuously over and over again throughout this entire second half of the Lakers. And you're seeing that Luka Doncic and seeing his numbers that he's been putting out, scoring 40 points in 10 games and averaging 8 rebounds, averaging about 8 assists. Austin Reeves still being that secondary guy and him doing his thing. And as far as him still being able to create and score. And honestly, last night, I know he turned the ball over a little bit here and there throughout that course of the Wizards game, but seeing him still being able to get to the lane, to facilitate, drawing fouls, another good thing to see. I know Luka Doncic was out last night. He served that suspension after receiving his 16th technical foul. And just to update on that, every other technical foul, Luka Doncic will serve a suspension for that following game. So he is at 16. Now, if he gets to 18, he will be suspended. And then every other game, remember that, every other technical foul. So he has 16. If he gets to 18, he'll be suspended for whatever that following game is. So that is where this Lakers team is at, and that is where Luka Doncic is at. Ooh, do not like that notice. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I believe that we're back. A little bit of technical difficulties there. Sorry for that audio check, just to make sure that we're all clear and that we're all good. Hope you guys not getting that echo back. But as to what I was saying in regards to this Lakers team, in regards to Luka Doncic receiving that 16th technical foul, LeBron James has been making some comments, and of course he was asked how the morale has been, how has this team been, how has the chemistry been, and he alluded to that, and he answered this in a very, very good fashion, because we've seen how this Lakers team was in this first half of the season. You've seen the struggles. You've seen how there wasn't no real chemistry. The ball movement wasn't there. The player movement, the chemistry as far as guys not being able to be in sync offensively as well as defensively, because we always go back to how defensively Lakers were unorganized. There were a lot of finger pointing. There was a lot of bad rotation. Offensively, there's a lot of one-on-one ISO ball. If he's not scoring with it, it's Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves isn't scoring, then you go back down to LeBron James and he's trying to score. It just was not there. So LeBron James was asked as far as the morale, as far as how this team is looking, as far as how, where the place is at with this chemistry, and this is that.
We're in a good place right now. The chemistry is high. Everyone loves being around each other. We love playing for one another. We love being off the floor with one another. It's a good, tight-knit group, and we have to carry that for the rest of the regular season. Then I said, like, the postseason is the home season. We got to carry that until that's it. Appreciate it.
It is a good, tight-knit group. That is where this Lakers team is at on the second half of the season. The chemistry is high. Everyone loves being around each other. We love playing for one another. We love being off the floor with one another, which we've seen the golf pictures. We've seen them going out into different events, going to dinner, all those different types of things as soon as the second half of the NBA season approached. It's a good, tight-knit group. You remember what LeBron James has said. We've seen Brian Windhorst make the comments that LeBron James generally feels like this Lakers team can compete for a title. Now, we got a good test with the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight and seeing how they're going to match up, because the duo of James Harden and Donovan Mitchell is another thing, okay? Another good thing that we have rolling as far as seeing how they're going to be. And then you see Evan Mobley, you see Jared Allen. This is going to be another playoff opponent to see where the Lakers are at as far as a matchup purpose. Okay, and that's another thing we always go back to as far as the Denver Nuggets, as far as the New York Knicks, the Houston Rockets twice, the Minnesota Timberwolves, is that the Lakers have been beating these playoff teams, these playoff opponents. Now, can we see that continue as they do face the Cleveland Cavaliers? And you know on how James Harden is with the Rock, and you know on how Donovan Mitchell has been. The Cleveland Cavaliers have been figuring it out. They won 7 out of their last 10 through the spurt since acquiring James Harden in the second half of that trade, the trade deadline. And James Harden's been out the lineup a little bit. Donovan Mitchell's been out the lineup too. Evan Mobley, but this Cleveland Cavaliers team is starting to get healthy. And if you're the Lakers, this is what you want. This is the right matchup. What you want as far as them being healthy and the Lakers being healthy. Hopefully, Marcus Smart suits up tonight because the Lakers definitely need Marcus Smart because I understand teams like the Nets, teams like the Wizards, when they come to LA, they're very, very excited. They're going to play their hardest, knowing that they're in the bright lights in the city of LA. But to give up a lot of those points to, no disrespect to the Wizards, giving up over 100 points, cool. Okay? Teams like to run up and down. But the Nets game and how close it was, and Lakers were able to pull away in that fourth quarter and then, of course, increase their lead. Things like that is what you want to steer away from. And that is why you need Marcus Smart, because if you don't have him, especially a game tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers, you are going to need his defense. You're going to need his edge. You're going to need every single one of those abilities to enhance this Lakers team. And that is the reason why we go back to that Marcus Smart has been a big, big piece for this Lakers team as far as being that anchor, as far as being that energy, as far as being that hustle guy, as far as keeping guys in line and in check. Refer, honestly, to Deondre Ayton, which is why we see his ceiling rise with this Lakers team. But there is a lot of good things rolling when it comes to this team. And with LeBron James making comments like that the chemistry and how they've been buying in and everyone's been buying into their roles, and this is a very tight-knit group, really, really good thing to see. Luka Doncic coming back after he had that 16th game, after he received a 16th technical foul, coming back tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers. You want to have it any other way. Hopefully, Austin Reeves can get into rhythm still, find a way to be creative, find a way to get in his driving lanes, and then space out and knock down some three-point balls. This is a good way for another test to see where this Lakers team is going to be at. And your guys' favorite conversation to get into the second half of Lakers Talk Daily is, of course, LeBron James, because we always go back to how well he has been playing, him being that third usage guy. Dave McMenamin and Tim Bontemps, writers for ESPN, had an article as far as what could possibly be destinations for LeBron James after this season. I think it's very, very interesting, and I want to get your guys' thoughts and reaction. But before we do any of that, I have to let my partner, Zach Pachanga, give you guys a quick word.
At Pachanga Resort Casino, you can rock and roll, sip and slide, twist and shout. Play your perfect combination at Pachanga Resort Casino, official Indian gaming sponsor of the Lakers.
What is going on? Welcome back to Lakers Talk Daily. The Lakers are taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland Cavaliers team, James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. I can't wait, and you guys should be excited to see this game tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, to get into the article, and I know you guys, I know this conversation gets annoying. I know it's over and over again. Why do we keep on bringing this up? But it's a very, very good one to have, only because we have been seeing how well LeBron James has been playing, being that third usage guy, and seeing how this team has elevated. It started with that Chicago Bulls game because we were all talking about it. As far as you see how well Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves have been playing. You see how well the role players have been playing. You see there's actual real rotation. Everyone's saying, I don't want him to come in. It's going to ruin the lineup. It's going to ruin the chemistry. So, with that being said, in this article, there was more teams as far as what could be LeBron James' destination if he were to return for another season. Now, of course, the top destination is the Los Angeles Lakers. I mentioned that Chicago Bulls game when LeBron James returned, and we thought that, carrying over after that Chicago Bulls game, then Denver Nuggets game, Lakers would see if that the trio will work, and it did. They pulled off missing that free throw shot. Game of overtime comes. Luka Doncic gets that nice 1-dribble pull up on that left wing to win the game. And then you see that the Lakers carry that momentum still with LeBron James returning. Rob Pelinka already saying that he is willing and he'll welcome LeBron James with open arms to return to the Lakers and retire as a Laker. So seeing how that has been and him being that third usage guy, do you think that will be a good destination for the Lakers to bring him back, knowing they start to build around Luka Doncic, knowing that they're going to bring back Austin Reeves? Because Austin Reeves, per Dave McMenamin, he is going to turn down, as he should. He's going to turn down that $14 million extension. He's going to opt out, be unrestricted free agent. And, of course, his market now has elevated. It has increased. So you got all those different things if you're the Lakers. And knowing that you have to build around Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. And knowing that you're going to have $50 million in cap space. Now, LeBron James being a minimum contract player, that's when you have to listen. Now, LeBron James being a maximum guy, which if he does return to Lakers, per this article, he can receive around 14 to 15 million. He's going to eat up in that salary cap. And you got to make sure you still got to bring in 3-and-D wing guys. You got to make sure you bring in the right big man to put around Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. Knowing how well DeAndre Ayton has played, you still have flaws on this roster that you need to be able to enhance. And then, of course, in that article with the Lakers, just the Lakers news for LeBron James being a top destination for, is that what is going to be the decision of Rui Hachimura? If the market is right for him, do you bring him back? If he's going to demand more money, that is another thing you're going to look at into, okay, we're probably going to move a different direction, depending on what the price is. And that is going to be the scenario for LeBron James, knowing how well this Lakers team. I think they're going to take a real in-depth look, depending on how well the Lakers do in this postseason. So that was the first thing that David McMenamin and Tim Bontemps listed. And then, of course, we've been seeing the ongoing news with the Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors possibly being that destination for LeBron James. Seeing him being paired up with Steph Curry. Jimmy Butler most likely is going to miss the start of next season. But you know you still got him. We always see videos and pictures of LeBron James and Draymond Green. How they're best friends. Now, is that the right move for LeBron? Possibly so, because he's not too far away from LA. In this article, it always goes back to as far as Bronny's still going to be, because he has a partially guaranteed contract. His son, the other son, plays in Arizona. So they listed that as far as the commute and him being able to go out there. LeBron James's businesses, Clutch and all that stuff is in LA. So him going to Golden State, all those different scenarios will still work out in his hand, knowing that he can be paired up with a Hall of Famer, a future Hall of Famer in Stephen Curry, and a future Hall of Famer in Draymond Green. Now, LeBron James being the Golden State Warriors uniform, who knows? But that is another destination that could possibly happen. Then we always talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers being that landing spot. And then you see how they have their core, James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, like I listed, which is going to make tonight's game really, really interesting. Just knowing that he always loves going against his hometown in Cleveland. And knowing that he was able to bring a championship to Cleveland. The only thing is that might be steered away is that he's going to have to be that minimum contract guy. He's going to have to be a minimum contract guy to be able to fit in as far as salary matches and all that different types of stuff. And you got to go back to, if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, what benefit do you get of LeBron James being on this roster? Because he's going to have to be in the understanding that he might not be that starter, which I doubt that. I think LeBron James is going to be a starter in the majority of teams that he goes to, especially if he's playing at this high level. But if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, you really have to be looking at it. How is this going to work for us as far as the construction of their roster? Because they're going to have some guys that are going to be offloaded as far as contract situations and who is going to be able to go in the offseason. But their main core is established. And if you're LeBron James, and if that final championship run is for your favor, and then that's what you want, that is a possible destination for him. And I think that's as far as the Lakers, that is the highest one, I believe, in my personal opinion. And then just to quickly go around this, which I found really, really interesting. There's one team I found really, really interesting, which I don't believe will happen. But again, this is everything that's going in the article. Was the New York Knicks. And the New York Knicks is going to be tough because with their core, Jalen Brunson, Karl-Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. Okay, New York Knicks have struggled. The connection with LeBron James with the New York Knicks is that big market, of course. They have their core established, just like the Cleveland Cavaliers. But LeBron James also has a connection with head coach Mike Brown, who he played for when he's with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So there's some connection there. All these teams that have been listed is all going to be is what is LeBron James's market? Is he going to be a minimum contract guy, or is he going to want to deserve that maximum $14 to $15 million deal? Now, the Knicks being that, if he wants to try to compete for a title, that is another one because they have their four all-stars. Well, two of their all-stars. But OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges are kind of on that brink of being one. And then as far as the last two teams, which I was like, really? The Denver Nuggets. They listed the Denver Nuggets as a possible suitor for LeBron James. And I'm like, okay. Now, this is what makes it interesting. And I want your guys' thoughts on this, is that the Nuggets actually tried to pursue LeBron James around 2018. Remember LeBron James being traded to LA. Remember that whole deal that went down, him playing with the baby Lakers. The Nuggets actually tried to pursue LeBron James. Didn't work. But what makes it interesting is that they have Jamal Murray, they have Nikola Jokic, and they have Aaron Gordon. Now, what they listed in this article is that it could be a potential sign and trade because Peyton Watson, who has been rumored and has been a potential target for potentially the Lakers, he's a restricted free agent. Now, if they were to do a sign and trade, and they trade LeBron James, and they're able to get Peyton Watson, and he'll be a restricted free agent, and they're able to acquire him. All of a sudden, you're getting younger, but also you're addressing what? 3 and D of Peyton Watson's offensive game has elevated. That is another thought process. And also throwing in here, Cam Johnson, who's shooting for about 42% this season for the Denver Nuggets. I will kind of stay away from Cam Johnson, but this is just another scenario. If he were to be a shooter for the Denver Nuggets and how that will be able to work, a potential sign and trade. Now, you guys in the YouTube chat, would you be interested in that? In a sign and trade for Peyton Watson, knowing that he's younger and knowing that his game is only elevating, especially how this season with Aaron Gordon being out of the lineup and him being able to step into that big role, I think he'll be a perfect fit to pair alongside Luka and Austin Reeves, all depending if something like that could work. This is all speculation, by the way. Let's just make sure we throw that out there. This is all speculation. And one last thing, which I have said, ain't no way in hell this is happening, is that if the deal was to fall out with Kawhi Leonard and the aspirations deal and all that different types of stuff that we haven't seen throughout this entire season, if the NBA doubles down and they get into a deep investigation and Kawhi Leonard's contract ends up being voided, LeBron James has history with Tyronn Lue. He won a championship under Tyronn Lue. The Clippers potentially giving LeBron James a 1-year deal. And they'll be able to give him that max contract if Kawhi Leonard's contract were to be voided. Very, very interesting. But I said, there's no way. Why would LeBron James say that? We heard a comment to him saying that, how does it feel playing in LA? We're into a dome. And he said, it's not my home. I'm technically on the road. So he understands that. But it all depends on what is LeBron James his asking rate. And that's why I say I list these 6 different teams. Very, very interesting that there's been more added as far as the speculation. Now, to kind of quickly finish off this episode, I got my guy back there. I got my guy, John. John, I want your thoughts if you're ready to go. I want your thoughts on this. On all those teams I listed, who do you think will be a good suitor for LeBron James?
D, there's an old saying. There's a very old saying. A wise man once said, sometimes, man, the grass isn't greener on the other side. I don't think he needs to go anywhere. These guys, for the first time, LeBron, Luka, AR and company, JJ Redick, it seems like they have something that's kind of working, man. I think the Lakers should pursue some other talent. There's some veterans out there. There's some young up-and-coming players, but I think he should stay here. And, LeBron, are you really going to find a better player out there? You'll find younger players, but are you going to find a player that can fit the mold that LeBron has created with this team? He does everything for these guys right now. He's older. He's an old dog, but he's still got a lot in the tank, D. I don't think he should go anywhere else, personally, man. Seriously.
So not even the New York Knicks, not even the Cleveland Cavaliers thought process.
Is he really going to have a better chance to win a ring with those teams?
I wouldn't say a better chance, but I would say, I'll say this. I do believe the Eastern Conference, as far as how players and how those teams are on that side, the runway and the pathway for a title is a lot easier compared to the Western Conference. Knowing you're going to have Anthony Edwards still in your way. Knowing that Wemby and the San Antonio Spurs are still going to be a force to be reckoned with. Knowing that Oklahoma City is always going to find ways to enhance their roster. And they seemingly find ways to plug and play in guys. It works. And then there's other teams at Western Conference who potentially are going to get better. Denver Nuggets are still in the way with Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray.
Are they?
The Houston Rockets, they are.
Are they? Does Denver really strike fear into your heart like they used to? I'm not really convinced on Denver. Seriously. Look, Houston, they're not even a complete team without Fred VanVleet. The only team I think to really watch out for is the Spurs. I think the Lakers can beat OKC in the 7-game series when healthy. I really do. I think top to bottom, the Lakers can compete with them. The Spurs are the only team that really they make me wary. But the Lakers can hang with any team in the Western Conference. I don't think LeBron should go anywhere. This is the best place for him to get a ring. It's set in stone, man. Finish it here. Finish it as a Laker.
So you think he should retire as a Los Angeles Laker?
I do. Absolutely.
So not even the homecoming, Cleveland, and all that different types of stuff, and then him knowing.
If you want your last season to be that, if you want your last season to be a Cleveland, this was for you. This is where I'm going to finish it, where I started. But if you want to get a ring, one of these, you want to get number 5. You want to tie Kobe, right? Let's be real. I know he want to get that 5th. He want to tie Kobe. Where else are you going to have a better chance to do it, man? Do it in the Lake Show. Come on.
Look, I love the passion. I love what you were saying as far as, that he could potentially win his last ring here. But I just got to keep it real. Oklahoma City. I know you said that they can beat them in a 7-game series, which is why I'm glad you said that, because they got a test. Remember, they got Oklahoma City this Thursday, and then the following week on Tuesday, they go Oklahoma City here.
Hey, so let the record reflect what I just said, and we'll come back to this.
We definitely going to have to clip this and bring this back. But the 7-game series, I don't see the Lakers beating them. 7-game series against the Spurs, I see the Lakers potentially beating them.
I think the Spurs are a harder matchup than OKC, personally.
I don't know, man. I just don't know. I think what makes the Spurs a favorable matchup for the Lakers, and I know we're kind of running out of time here, but I think what makes it a very favorable matchup is because of the inexperience. And the San Antonio Spurs struggle when it comes to shooting the 3-ball. Now, we see the Houston Rockets, and I always go back to that. There's 2 totally different teams, the way they play. But Houston Rockets, when their 3-point ball wasn't falling and all they were relying on was Kevin Durant, they struggled. Now, the Spurs are definitely better than the Houston Rockets from start and from their rotational guys.
No doubt.
But the experience, it does play a role. It does play a fact. And the Oklahoma City Thunder, literally just coming off of a title and just knowing that their guys have been in and out the rotation, they're still number one. Number one. I get it. Wemby is a guy you got to deal with.
Man. You mentioned experience. Who has more than LeBron? Who can galvanize the troops like LeBron?
But again, it always goes back to the depth and looks at the rotation. OKC with Shea, with Jalen Williams, with Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hardenstein. And then look at their bench. And they still got Isaiah Joe. They still got Aaron Wiggins, Alex Caruso. It's a really, really tough matchup. Not saying Lakers can do it, But I'm saying it makes it really, really difficult. And just to finish this off, and I feel like the ideal matchup, let's just start off with this. The ideal matchup in the first round should be the Houston Rockets. You want to get them.
Yeah.
They showed all their cards. Lakers are able to adjust. And I think that was a perfect setting because there's 2 games in the span of 1 week, and they're both on the road in Houston. In a playoff scenario, you always get a game or a day or two in between. And the Lakers took care of business.
Twice.
Yeah. And the way they beat them was very, very convincing. And that's where I feel like it just, step by step. OKC and San Antonio are on a different tier right now. Now the rest, that's why you have that middle of the pack. And there's a reason why, though. That's why the Lakers are in that middle of the pack. Now,
D, we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see.
All right. I think it's a really good conversation. And I'm glad you had your thoughts as far as you think LeBron James to finish off here. A lot of other people, in the YouTube chat, they're very, very, LeBron, they're kind of iffy. It's all about the asking price and where his contract and where he wants to be as far as his going rate. But John, as always, man, appreciate you, man. You was cooking last night at the Washington Wizards game, by the way.
Thank you, brother. It's all day.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. As you guys in the YouTube chat, we got a good one tonight. Lakers are taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen are in town. Another good matchup for the Lakers to see where they are at when it comes to a playoff team. But for myself and my guys running the operation, my guy John, my guy Carlo back there running this thing, and you guys in the YouTube chat, you guys are very, very active in there today. Very, very grateful for you guys. As always, I will be talking to you guys tomorrow. We got a good breakdown tomorrow, Lakers versus Cavaliers. As always, we out.